All right, everyone. Link in the description to a TDS suffering article where they're talking about Trump's second term and all the terrible things that he's going to do. He's going to crony it up and he's going to go apeshit on the bureaucracy. I mean, most of us would probably support that. If you're on this channel, pretty good chance that you want to rein them in as well. Talking about, he's going to be evil and we heard before, he's going to start World War III, he's going to collapse the economy. All terrible things will happen if Donald Trump should be reelected. Here's what to actually expect. Again, link in the description archived, of course. You can look at the TDS article if you want to. Here's a little bit of a rebuttal. Here's what to expect from a Trump second term. Number one, he will focus heavily on the border. We've seen that he did focus on that in his first term. We know that he's actually dedicated to that. He will be obstructed. Thankfully, there's a federal court precedent allowing him to drain funds from discretionary military and defense spending. The problem being that the neocons in the House will very quickly figure out, and I'm sure they already have, they've got a contingency in mind, to not credit those funds so much. They will attempt to obstruct him by simply withholding funding for what he could grab discretionary spending and build a wall, because they don't want the border secured. The MAGA Republicans do. Hell, even some Democrats do at this point. It's kind of funny to see. They will try to obstruct him. That's point number one. He'll attempt to fortify the border as opposed to fortifying elections. He will be obstructed in that. It will take time. So if Trump is reelected, give him a little bit of sympathy because he's going to have to work with a House of Representatives that controls the purse strings and doesn't really want to loosen them up in order to actually benefit the average American. Secondly, he will push hard to continue his tax cuts. And that's definitely a hope for me because otherwise I pay thousands of dollars extra a month for absolutely nothing. I'm getting nothing in return. It's just used to bomb people. If it were being used to feed people or clothe the homeless or something like that, I would bitch a little bit less about it. But if it's going to be used to bomb Yemeni children, I'm not really that into it, actually. Believe it or not, I'm anti-war. That's the third thing, by the way. Trump will probably seek to avoid any further conflict and confrontation with foreign nations. He'll be called a Russian asset because of this. Oh my God, you didn't want to bomb this country? How dare you? And then the Greta Thunberg voice or something like that. He'll probably not start any new conflicts. He'll never get credit for it, but, the legacy media will never credit him anyway. But I suspect that will be the case. I also suspect there will be one really important thing in a second Trump term that we saw relatively little of in his first term. And this is indicated by the very first Agenda 47 video that he uploaded to Rumble. His very first campaign pitch for re-election was to reform the way in which the government interacts with the internet. That is, with an Internet Bill of Rights, the reform of Section 230. He almost echoed exactly what I've suggested many times. You can be a platformer or a publisher, you can't be both, make a fucking choice. I think that's a good thing. And so on and so forth. Trump is not a puristic libertarian when it comes to free expression, online or elsewhere. I have to acknowledge that. But damn, he comes close to the mark with regards to his Agenda 47 video on the internet. I suspect that after having been cajoled and bullied by the establishment this entire time, Trump is going to be relatively serious about that. And I think he knows that it's a good idea to wine and dine content creators. That is, the reason he got elected in 2016 was in part because of the free flow of information on the internet. I think he has come to that understanding. He took it for granted at first, but then he realized that it's politically disastrous not to address the issue, number one. And number two, people who genuinely like the dude, who genuinely went out of their way to support him, have been hurt as a result of censorship efforts by big tech and by the Biden administration, and that he would seek to address those, partially out of pragmatism, so it's not ideological, it's just it's self-serving, and partially because I think he genuinely has some sort of care for people who really did, for free, they went out of their way to promote him. I would say that these are all going to be hallmarks, fixtures of a second Trump term. So, no new wars, the continuation of tax relief, which is of import, probably an attempt with regards to internet censorship. How successful that is, it will remain to be seen for some time. I'm white-pilled. This is a no black pill zone. I am going to tell you, though, that it's going to be an uphill battle to get an Internet Bill of Rights thing going. It's exactly what we need. It's a great idea, but it also puts us at odds with Europe and with parts of Asia and with Canada now, of course. And it'll be an uphill battle. It'll be difficult. But I think that he will genuinely try. He wouldn't have made that his first campaign video unless he was going to take it seriously. The final thing that I really hope, especially, and I'm sure that most of you hope for as well, the final thing that I really hope happens is better hiring decisions. Now, the shot across the bow for an indicator of this will be who he chooses as his running mate. If he does choose like a Marco Rubio or something, I mean, I'm still going to vote for him, but I would be like, well, it's not great, you know. I'd prefer a Gabbard or a Kristi Noem or something. Unfortunately, again, with Soccer Mom America, Kristi Noem has been effectively disqualified by shooting her dog that one time. She explained it fine, just fine. I understand her. I'm a rural American and a pragmatist. But Soccer Mom America, they get their news from CNN. So according to CNN, Kristi Noem just butchers animals all the time because she doesn't like them. Oh, you pooped in the tulip patch. Bye, Sparky. Bang. That's basically how they cast her off. We have to look at who he chooses as a running mate. We'll be talking about that separately, by the way, this morning. That is going to be an indicator of whether Donald Trump has decided to go all in or whether he's still going to try in vain to appease the neocons. That's what I suspect he did in his first term. Mike Pence was effectively nothing more than an olive branch extended to the neocons. Hey, look. Play nice with me. My second in command is clearly a neoconservative. He's part of your uniparty. The people I'm hiring in my cabinet, by and large, not always, but by and large, are uniparty or on the fringe of the uniparty. Give me some money, basically. Let me build my wall, let me do a couple things, and we'll call it a day. But considering their actions towards him, the persecution, the lawfare, and so forth, with, you know, the Alvin Bragg case, Fulton County, and so forth, I think he's genuinely pissed. Especially when they start gunning for his family. I mean, they've sued his sons as well and robbed them of millions of dollars for absolutely no reason as part of that particular case with Letitia James. And I think genuinely, I don't think he's very happy. I don't think Donald Trump is a very happy person right now. I think that he's a smug person. I think that he's enjoying the rigmarole, the circus politically that's going on. And I think he relishes the concept of being back in power. But I don't think he's very happy about the way he's being treated by people who in many cases used to be his friends. They expected him to remain a donor classer, not actually seriously run for office, and he hoodwinked them. And so that's why they're lashing out. They're also desperately afraid he'll win. In a five-way race, according to the most recent Rasmussen poll, Trump leads by 12 points in the general matchup. If he's anywhere near that in the final results, hell, if he leads by 1 point, he's going to crush Joe Biden. And they know it. And they're afraid of that. Those are some things to suspect from a second Trump term. The hope is better hiring practices. There will be a fixation on internet censorship. We'll see how that pans out. Again, Rome is not built in a day. One man cannot do it all. Right now, if you're really serious about these issues, what you should be doing is campaigning. Doing everything you can. Knock on a couple doors, harvest a couple ballots, do whatever you need to do. And not just for Donald Trump, but for the candidates generally that he's endorsed. I don't support all of them, but by and large, as a rule, they're better than the neocon dross and scum of yesteryear. That's about all. Peace out.